It's very interesting. Christakis, who does a lot of work from Harvard, and he's really studied social networks for many years. And he's found that we are heavily influenced by the people we're around. I mean, it's amazing. Basically, your best friend influences whether you're healthy. If your best friend is unhealthy and overweight, you're dramatically more likely, 40% more likely to be overweight. Even a friend of your friends affects your health. So when I was looking at what are the key elements to have people literally change their health and make that permanent, we looked at what were all the dynamic parts, and a big part of them is the underlying structure. So creating a microenvironment of health is literally talking about changing the environment you're in, the people you're hanging out with, the people that you're exposed to, the environment you're exposed to. So like for when you start on this program, one of the first things we want you to do after you're connected to your coach is, if you have been eating unhealthy, we want you to go in and do a major hand grenade destruction of your pantry and get rid of all that nasty sugar and all carbs and all these things that are temptations. Because what we found that 93% of people will not go buy candy for themselves, but 78%, if they're exposed to candy, will eat it. So the whole point is we want to change the environment. And so I'm literally talking about changing physically the things that surround you, your pantry, the way you eat, and making sure there's not candy or juju beads or jelly beans on the table when you're at work. So every time I heard somebody talking about the relationship, one of the important things that I study in the Habits Healthy and in the new edition, which will be coming out hopefully by the end of the year, we're really focusing on spending a lot more time focusing on how we think. But when we're stressed, we immediately react and we go for those triggers and for those things that we don't even consciously do. We just grab things that are unhealthy. So if you can switch, starting with your coach, but beyond that, also to surround you at your fingertips with the things that can help you be healthy. Making sure you do have meal replacements so that when you get hungry every 3 hours, rather than grabbing a candy bar, you're having a meal replacement. About having your mentor there for you. And what happens is, over time, we're not going to change overnight, and that's why it's so ironic that on New Year's everybody eats their rear off during the Christmas and the Hanukkah and during the New Year's holidays, and then right January 1st, when they're walking somewhere at a party and a button flies off and almost kills somebody, that's their message from God that they need to get healthier. They go on an absolute program, restrict themselves, do something that they can't possibly sustain for a couple of weeks, and then they quit and say, oh, I can't do it. Rather than fundamentally making a decision that I'm going to start thinking about my health, and I'm going to if you make 100 decisions, and right now, when you start, 80 of them are negative or leading you towards disease, and 20 of them are positive. If you make 21 positive ones the next day and only 79 negative ones, and then you continue to build in those slow increments, that's how we make sustainable change. That's how our brain takes it, and it's not so difficult that we reject it, and our brain will accept it, and we'll learn to build the habits of health. So, David, the microenvironment of health is literally taking the health coach, the system, the virtual clinic, the online support, all the pieces that you can have from the comfort of your home, and use those in a sequence that allow you to, on a day-to-day basis, be thinking more about it. Because the most important thing in changing from a lifestyle that's creating disease and having you be unhealthy is being aware and present to all the great things.